Okay, I'm going to turn out now over to Kevin Graham with FSU and tell you he's the VP of the FSU Real Estate Foundation. They have so much going on. We only gave him 10 minutes and he's not happy, but he can get it done. So,
thank you. All right, so in the time that we have available this morning, I want to share a little bit of information about FSU's impact into the local economy, as well as the impact into the built environment. Then we're going to shift our focus, and I'm going to share a little bit about what I perceive as a glimpse into the future development patterns in our community. So let's get started with some statistics. This is a graphic that was introduced last year. It has some very powerful information. I'm going to focus on a few numbers. $10 billion. $10 billion represents the size of FSU's annual economic impact across the state. This is a shockingly huge number. It's a complicated number, and it's a statewide number, so let's make it a little bit more personal. $1.7 billion. 1.7 represents FSU's annual operating budget. Our CFO likes to describe that as being larger than the budgets of 74 countries around the world. I look at it this way. It's $194,000 an hour, every day. $1.5 billion. 1.5 represents FSU's investment in construction spending over the last 15 years. And that 15-year period includes what we understand as the Great Recession. It's roughly, on average, it's $100 million a year. It represents 7.3 million square feet. It's like 125 football fields worth of land area. So if you have not driven through FSU's campus recently, I would encourage you to do so. You'll be amazed. 875 million. 875 million represents FSU students spending in Tallahassee, or in the local economy. This number is important because it represents $45 million in sales tax revenue, which is about 14% of Leon County's annual budget. Our students are important. And finally, $200 million. $200 million represents FSU's visitors spending in our local economy each year. Our visitors are important. So no doubt these are big numbers, and the reason I'm sharing this information is twofold. First of all, if you're a business in Tallahassee, there's a great chance that FSU impacts your business plan. And so understanding the university is important. Secondly, and more importantly, FSU is your neighbor. We're partners in this community, and we're on the move. FSU is one of two preeminent universities in the state of Florida. Preeminence is defined in Florida statutes. It's a designation that allows us to receive additional funding as we climb the ladder of national prominence. We're currently ranked number 38 among public universities, according to the most recent U.S. News and World Report. We have our sights set on climbing into the top 25. So let's take a look at the built environment. Obviously, this is a very important component of economic impact. FSU has a variety of different types of facilities, and I'm going to step through these slides pretty quickly, but I wanted to give you a flavor of the types of facilities that FSU constructs. These images are projects that were constructed or renovated in the last 10 years, and by no means is this an exhaustive list. It's just representative. And so academic facilities. FSU has over 160 academic programs, and that number continues to grow. Here you see the Honors, Scholars, Fellows House, Ruby Diamond Concert Hall, the Johnston Building. Currently under construction downtown, we have Jim Moran Building, EOAS, and the College of Business Legacy Hall, and I'll touch on this again in a moment. Research facilities. FSU Research brings in approximately $200 million a year. Over the last 5 years, it's been roughly $1 billion. Here you see the AME building and IRCB. Student housing. FSU has over 6,700 student housing beds on campus. Here you see the Traditions Hall, the new Dorman and Deviney, and Azalea and Magnolia. Athletic facilities. Since joining the ACC in 1992, FSU has 78 conference titles across 14 different sports. Here you see the indoor practice facility, the Morecambe Aquatic Center, the softball batting cages, and the south end zone. And then we have a variety of student support facilities such as parking garages in the Wellness Center, the Turnbull Conference Center, the 1851 Dining Hall, which by the way is set to open up in a week or two. And then there's the question that I'm asked most frequently, which is, where are we at with the Arena District? Well, I'm pleased to give the update. We are very close to being able to announce our development partner, which is something that we've been desiring for a long time. With that, we will begin working with the city and the county on an interlocal agreement. It's worth noting that the College of Business in this last legislative session received $5 million. Their fundraising efforts are on track. My expectation is that within the next 24 to 36 months, the College of Business will be through the design process and will be under construction. At its completion, the Arena District will include the College of Business. It'll include the College of Business, the arena itself, a convention center, the hotel, additional athletic facilities, parking, and other uses. So I promised a glimpse of what's next, what's on the horizon. I'd like to build the case for Southwest Tallahassee. We refer to this area as the Gateway District. This is an area that we believe is poised for future growth and opportunity. FSU is turning its attention, at least in part, to the land that exists south of the stadium. And when we're talking about the Gateway District, I'm referring to the land south of Pensacola and west of Lake Bradford Road and Spring Hill Road. Let's take a look at this graphic. There's a lot that's happening here, but I want to turn your attention just to a couple things. This area at the top, Hatched Garnet, that's FSU's main campus. It's about 475 acres. At the bottom left, that's the Tallahassee International Airport. All of the gold property in the middle, that's in excess of 900 acres. It's twice the size of our main campus. It's other university property. We brought this graphic to the Blueprint IA back in February. And by the way, I wanted to say thank you to all of our city and county commissioners who are here this weekend and all the work that y'all do to make our community such a great place. Thank you. We brought this graphic back to Blueprint back in February and expressed our desire to create infrastructure that would open up the interior of our campus inside the Gateway District to create better access to this property. The conversation was well received. The commissioners instructed their Blueprint staff to work with the university to explore these ideas and bring back some recommendations. We look forward to bringing back those recommendations with Blueprint very soon. So what's driving all of this? There's a couple key variables. Number one, FSU is currently, periodically, we are required to update our campus master plan. This is a cyclical responsibility, and we're at the very beginning of the process. We are paying attention to the fact that there is a focus on infrastructure in this area. Blueprint has identified nearly $60 million for the construction of an airport gateway from the airport to downtown. DOT has they're in the process of planning the expansion of Orange Avenue from South Monroe to Capitol Circle Southwest. If you've driven past FSU's campus recently, past Alumni Village, you would have realized that the improvements have been raised at Alumni Village, and what we have out there now are rolling hills and oak trees, and we're constantly asked the question, what's next? And then finally, You've seen in the press that we are planning the redesign of the Seminole Golf Course with the Jack Nicklaus signature design. So you take all this information together, the update of a master plan, the opportunities at Alumni Village, the redevelopment of the golf course, the fact that our community is focused on infrastructure inside the Gateway District, and we perceive this as an area that is ripe for future growth and opportunity. But not just for FSU. We believe that this is strategically poised for our friends, our partners at Innovation Park, for the neighborhoods that surround campus, for the city and the county and the broader community. We believe that Southwest Tallahassee, the Gateway District, is a major opportunity. So why does this matter? Well, it matters because investment drives investments. FSU has a long-standing history of excellence in investment into the community. If you look at Gaines Street as an example, we see how the public and the private sector have followed FSU's footprint. FSU is one of the largest economic engines in the region, and there's much more on the horizon. The city, the county, the state, the university, the private sector have all expressed an interest in the Gateway District. That's evidenced by the commitment to infrastructure. We believe that smart money will follow.
Thank you, Kevin.